So yeah, right now I'm in Devon in the UK, in a beautiful part of the world, and I'm here close to my parents. I rented an Airbnb for a few days, and I'm in rest mode. I'm still working. I'm still, doing things that I need to do, but the predominant intention right now is just to drop in, take care of myself in preparation for next week's facilitator training. I'm going to be in Glastonbury, supporting Rachel Rickard in her field facilitator training. We're doing module 2, and I'm super excited to continue the journey with the group there. It's a year-long program as we study group dynamics and learn how to attune to and lead and facilitate group field spaces. And right now I'm here, in the UK, in nature, just having the most delightful time. The weather is amazing. This morning, for example, I went for a 3-hour walk along the coastal paths, along the Jurassic coast with epic views. Just stunning connection to the land here. And I walk bare feet or barefoot and just feel the nourishing of the land coming right up through my body. It feels really, really good. Taking long naps, spending time with mum and dad. Very blessed to have a family system that is still very wholesome and welcoming and together. And so it's very, some people, they go home and it's stressful. For me, it's actually a delight. And I'm also recovering from a bit of jet lag. I just came back from the US. I don't do that many US trips each year now, but this one was a lot of fun. I did the somatic shadow and circle work facilitator training, our level 1, or our foundations course there, in Sunrise Ranch in Colorado. So I spent a couple of weeks in the US. We did an amazing experience. Summer and I co-facilitated that as Manny wasn't available, and we just had a really delightful time. There was 25 of us, and it was a beautiful experience. Loved every second of it. And just missing the group already. It's really special. It's the first time in a long time since I've done a 7-day deep dive in the US. I think it was back in 2015 was the last time, because then we bought New Eden, the retreat center in the Netherlands, and all of our focus was in building that, and we traveled a lot less. So yeah. But it feels really good. And to do this shadow work and to explore this theme of looking at what doesn't belong, what wasn't allowed, what isn't welcome in us, what we deny, what we exile, what we make wrong, and reintegrating those parts in an embodied somatic way. It's healing, because we teach what we need to learn the most. And it was fascinating in the days leading up to this work. I was confronted by a lot of my own shadows and looking up what's happening in my own world around these parts of me that I've denied, that I've made wrong, that I haven't allowed. And it's so fascinating that as I prepare energetically for an event, often the very things that I'm presenting, teaching, offering kind of come through in a channeled way that I get to taste experientially more of that. I find that always, part of the magic is that I can't be separated from the very thing that I'm bringing. So yeah, I'm feeling very enriched. I'm also just being quite gentle with myself on a personal level. I don't really open myself up personally in a way that allows you, for example, to know every single part of my personal life. I know people do that on social media. I'm not that kind of guy that kind of like wants to post every little moment of exaltation, disappointment. Have you join me in my inner world? It's like, no, I'm pretty private, and I'll share some things when I want to, and for the rest of it, I'm not really a big fan of TikToking, Instagramming my personal details for everybody to see and hear. I definitely don't remember at all times to capture highlights in order to post for everybody to see. I'm sorry if that disappoints some of you. It's not really my way. But I can say in summary that I've journeyed these last 6 months since October in a delightfully well, deep and intense and beautiful relationship, which has recently come to an end. And I found that to be, yeah, it wasn't ending in in any kind of like negative way. It actually was a very beautiful closure, and yet it's left me bruised from a place of like heartbreak. I for a long time, it's been a while since I've really felt my deep yes in many areas around family, children, and partnering and going on a journey together. And so I'm just left with that residue of, oh, yeah, heartbreak really, that I am just digesting. It's just what's part of my experience right now as a human. And yeah, just left with the remnants of that. Yeah, yeah. So I'd say my experience really of these last period of time is a little bit somber, a little bit internal, a little bit introverted in a way. I'm naturally introverted, but I think there's a little bit more of that going on as I kind of like hold my wound a little bit close to my heart. And I think it's a little bit of a struggle for me to reach out and really knowing where can I reach out that's really appropriate and safe. I say appropriate because I don't really want to be reaching out to my kind of like clients. It just feels a bit weird, even though I feel like they're not clients. I just feel like everyone's family, which is such a blur for me. It's always been a struggle, like when does a client end and a friend and a lover and a relationship begin? Because doing this work, it's not like I'm a therapist and I've got this clear boundary around that. It always feels as if there is such a thin veil between all these roles and all these aspects of working together in tribe, because I'm very much about breaking down those barriers and about doing our work together in community. And yet I'm also aware of, okay, there is a position and a role and a responsibility and an impeccability and an ethics and all of that. It's just where all that kind of comes together is always a fascinating conversation for me. Especially because my heart is very open and it opens very quickly and it loves deeply and intensely, and sometimes it's always a bit like, what is this? Is this love? Is this friendship? Is this purpose? Where are we going here? And sometimes I need to move into connection before I know that. So if there's too much boundaries, pushed ahead of time, it then creates a kind of clunkiness that doesn't kind of work for me. So yeah, so it's been an interesting journey over these years, just navigating my how I natively am wired, my own blind spots and my own needs and my own growth edges. But I have now very clearly got places where I can go outside of my retreats, outside of my events, for example, my own, what I would call work, whether it's doing one-to-one therapy in a kind of an intensive container with ayahuasca, for example, or whether it's with a therapist one-to-one. I've got those things pretty much dialed in now, which feels really, really good. Because for a while there, I was like, yeah, I get so much out of being a facilitator of retreats. So I'm learning a lot, I'm upgrading, I'm evolving, I'm dealing, and I'm opening, and I'm embodying through all of that. And yet there's still a part that I can hide in that role. I'm not really living full life in that, or real life in that. So that's been an interesting kind of like development as well. It's just create time and prioritize resources for self-care and my own growth and my own healing that's outside of my own community. And yeah, now I'm looking forward to going back to New Eden, May the 2nd. A lot of changes and beautiful things coming this way around New Eden and Heart IQ. And this isn't like some tantalizing like preview. I can't talk about it right now, but when it happens, you will know. And I'm really excited. It's these next few months up until the end of June are going to be transformative for me, and I'm in a preparation around that transformation. So, yeah. What else can I share right now that feels alive and good? Yeah, I guess what I'm excited about and what I'm working on is I've got events coming up in June. Well, actually, I should say before that, New Eden is hosting a kind of like a work exchange. So if you're listening to this and some of you are curious, we have opened it up initially to men, but we got the feedback that was like, hey, what about the women? We'd like to also come and be part of this work exchange. Basically, you come to New Eden between May the 9th and 12th and help with labor and jobs and work. And in exchange, you get a free retreat, like a weekend Thriving in Tribe or a men's retreat. And so we're still open for that. And if you're interested, I think we've got 5 more spaces if people want to come and join us for those few days between May the 9th and the 12th. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be, just enjoying a little bit of tribe and community time with you all. Hopefully the weather will be nice. It's a perfect time of year to come to New Eden in the Netherlands. Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to think, how do you get in touch if you want to know more about that? I think you just need to message support@heartiq.com, and then my friend Rule will be able to accommodate you and register you and get you in on that little program. But in terms of what I'm working on, I'm working on some big event. There's a new, the event I'm most excited about it's called the Heart IQ Circle Work Facilitator Training. And that's happening June the 6th to the 9th. So that's a big thing that feels really kind of like it's touching all the exciting kind of buttons in me right now. And it's designed as a way for people to learn the core foundational structure of how to lead a Heart IQ circle. I've spent years teaching Heart IQ circle, but now I've learned the refinement around attunement, and how to set up and create a container, how to read the group field, how to encourage heart-centered shares, bring in heart-centered communication, embodied leadership, so that who we are is more important than the techniques around what we do, and having it be a channel of transmission of love and unity consciousness. So this 3 or 4 days is not about the deep trauma work around mat work. That is a skill that takes years to master, and that's another course altogether. I'm talking about actually creating a circle where we can create community, where we can create tribe, where we can have a men's group, women's group, where you can start to learn the basics of the container to hold other bodies of work that you might want to integrate it with, like couples work or your own modality and stuff like that. And this is going to be a pod-based training. So people come and they get into small group circles between 5 and 8, and there'll be multiple of these circles going on in the room, and I'll be like offering practices, demos, and coaching from the stage as we kind of like build an amplified field together. And also you get to directly practice these skills. So you're walking away with actually being in a small group circle for the whole 4 days. So it's a really cool thing. I've done things like this similar, but I don't know, this feels like it's bringing a lot of what I've learned over these last few years together into something quite special. And potentially we can do this in the US soon, and we can even live stream this, and so you can get together with a group at home and follow along and learn these skills and feel like you're part of the wider community transmission learning this. We're not live streaming this one in June because this feels like I want to really feel what it feels like to have this container private, and I can see how what I'm envisioning and channeling and downloading lands, and then take it from there. But maybe the next one we do, it's a little bit more international. Yeah. So, and then we've got another group leadership experience, a hot seat circle that's happening with more of our advanced facilitators immediately after that, June 10th to the 14th. And then we end this little 3-event series with a Thriving in Tribe circle retreat, which is going to be super exciting. It's just a deep dive where I can drop the handbrakes and we can all go deep together into a wonderful celebration of deep circle together for the weekend at New Eden. So yeah, that's kind of what's most with me. yeah, really, really super excited about it all. I'm feeling very switched on and on purpose, and so many exciting things happening in that realm for me. That's never been a part that's been what do you call it, sluggish or a bit. I don't usually wake up going, "Ugh, I'm so bored with my life. I wish I had something interesting to do with my work." I feel like one of the most blessed human beings alive when it comes to vocation, profession, career, purpose, giving my gift, transmitting something that meets every part of me. Yeah, I am literally blessed around that. And to make money, making an impact, doing what I love is a dream. And I wish everybody could enjoy something similar. And I know a few lucky people do, but the majority, of course, are not in that privileged position. Yeah, my area of work is actually stepping away from that and having a life. That's why I feel this call to like settle down and have a family and have a child or children and start to feel I have a dog and like have a community and stay more in one place and kind of ground in a more kind of like in a place where I can have hobbies and learn an instrument, learn to sing, race cars or something. I don't know. I've got so many, go into space. Like, I've got so many fun things that I would love to do that sometimes I think that my work can be a bit of a distraction away from, a life lived. But I'm feeling inspired to do it differently. I think that's what I've learned from this last relationship. Is like, yeah, that's really important. I need to take life by the horns, not just professionally, but also on a personal level as well. Okie dokie. Well, thank you for listening to all of that. If you're still here. And yeah, we'll be in touch. As always, please share your questions if you have stuff that you'd like to, not about me personally. I mean, like questions about HeartAQ, the work. If there's anything you'd love to know, we can put it in our newsletters. I can make short videos about it. I can post it on, or you can come along to our next community call that happens each month, and we can take it from there. All right, guys, take good care, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.